Hey everyone, it's Allison from Happily Homeless is Moonstruck at Opera in the Ozarks in northwestern Arkansas. And I am coming to you live at my filthiest self. Oh my God almighty. It's been a long few days. This is the first full day, but the well went down. Something happened with the well here, and which is never good news. But we went on with the performance last night. It was Susanna, and then we have the performance tonight. They're doing Carmen, and which will be spectacular no matter what. And but yeah, so the well went down, and I don't know exactly all the technicalities, blah blah blah, but in any case, so no water, no toilets. We were able to flush the toilets for a little while. The fire department came in and gave us 2,000 gallons, so that was nice. And then I don't know, something cut off again. And so what I learned to do today here at Opera in the Ozarks is what did we do? I helped Terry, our maintenance guy, and Jay, she's our set designer and prop maker, and Carol, who is one of the, I don't know, God, I can't think of the formal name. I'm too tired right now. But anyways, I learned how with them to dip water out of the, let's see, what did we do? First we had to vacuum the water. Jay climbed down into the well, which I could never do because God knows if there was snakes down there. Hi Lori, and vacuumed it out, and then she lifted up the vacuum to us, a wet pack, and Carol and I would lift it up out of the well, and then we'd dump it. And she was shoveling silt, and it was a long process for hours, and so I look filthy, and I was already filthy from sweating so much yesterday and not being able to have a shower, and then today I sweated upon the sweat, and then I'm filthy head to toe, so I'll have to take I'll do like our troops do in the war zone, which is use baby wipes. I'll take a baby wipes bath. Hi Heidi. And there were no snakes, thank God, in the wells. There's a few odd things she found floating around there, but and I thought maybe Jimmy Hoffa's body might be found down there. But we all agreed that actually nobody would secret a body down in the well. They would throw the body down in the holler, as it's called, where nobody goes, because there's all kinds of shit down there that nobody wants to know about. Snakes and snails and puppy dog tails, God knows. But anyways, so that's how I spent my last few hours after mowing today, and making a run for water. Gallons of water, gallons and gallons and gallons of water. I don't know how much we've gotten at this point, and ice and stuff like that. So, but the good thing about it all is that we are all equally smelly and stinky. So nobody notices it, really. I mean, we do. You can't help but, right? But and we all look like, so we all just look like we've been through the mill. But as I said to a few people, ain't nobody dying. This is just something that is manageable. It's an inconvenience, is all. So so yeah, I learned how to do well stuff today. I don't know all the technical jargon. Don't want to know it. I already know more than I ever thought I'd know or wanted to know about all kinds of stuff. And Jesus, Mary, and fucking Joseph. It's like, it was like maybe 94 degrees today. So you just stand outside and you're just automatically, bathed in sweat. Michael, hi. So we're all bathed in sweat and muddy, and another upside to working on the well this afternoon, helping to work on the well, was that I didn't get any more chigger bites because, there's none around because I was on concrete. But I got more of those this morning with when I was mowing. I sprayed my legs, and then I sprayed my leggings, and then I sprayed my boots. And But I have found a pretty good antidote that somebody told me about and that I Googled, which is clear nail polish, because what I hadn't understood about chiggers is that they burrow themselves into your skin, and it sounds like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. And so you put clear nail polish on them. Hi, Carol Ann. You put clear nail polish on them, and and that suffocates them, thank God. But the idea, I may have nightmares tonight now about chiggers crawling around inside my body. Holy Lord. I just know stuff I never thought I'd needed to know, or wanted to know, or fill my head, with that information. But I've learned a lot. So, and then last night, just in time for the performance of, what did we put on last night? Susanna. The one which is a modern English opera set in Tennessee in the 1940s. And it's pretty good. It's about a young girl who is just pilloried because the elders of her church find her bathing in the river, and she's naked. And so just all of the bullshit that comes from that. And so anyways, my friend Alexa and her friend Taylor got here last night. They're on a road trip, and they stopped in Arkansas to see me, which was so wonderful. So I was able to meet Taylor, who is an amazing young woman, and meet up. This was my third meeting with Alexa. Why did I call her Alexa? Alex. I'm thinking of another friend, Alexa, in Jersey. So Alex, I met, I think it was my second year out, and she was in the Air Force at the time, and she worked in public affairs at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi. And somewhere in my second year of my Odyssey of Love, I thought, because I was staying at a lot of military fam camps, and I have Chuck's flag and his cremains, and he served honorably and all that kind of stuff. So somewhere around in the second year, I thought, you know what, I need to start letting any base that I'm going to stay at, I need to start letting them know what I'm doing, not for any particular reason other than to let them know. And so I'd look up public affairs at each base, and I'd find an email name, and I'd send an email, and I'd tell them, okay, just very briefly, okay, this is my Odyssey of Love, it's for my husband, retired Master Sergeant Chuck Deering, and just et cetera, and I'd tell them, there's no, I don't expect you to do anything with this information I'm giving you, but I think that it's very important that your base knows that a veteran is passing through on his final travels. And so what happened was that Alex contacted me, and she did a story, and she was the first one to write a story about my Odyssey of Love. And the story that she wrote, was local on base and online, and then it just kept on getting kicked up higher and higher, up through eventually it made it to the Air Force Worldwide Network. And once that happened, which was amazing, but she really did write a wonderful story, once that happened, I started getting emails from active duty personnel all around the world thanking me and thanking me for doing what I'm doing for my veteran, this Odyssey of Love, and how I'm remembering him and sharing his legacy. And so that was really pretty powerful to hear from them. I got one from Saudi. I can't even remember all the different places I got them from, but it was really pretty powerful. So Carol Ann asks, what happened? Oh, there we are. I'm not sure what you mean, Carol, about what happened. So write me the question about what happened, or what it is that you're referring to, and then I'll answer that. So anyways, yeah, that was just pretty powerful. So we stayed in touch, Alex and I did, and then when my daughter Rachel Grace went with me on my Odyssey of Love, hi Natalie, for the 6 months, the Nothing But Love tour, we stopped in Biloxi again, and so Rachel Grace was able to meet Alex also, and then this time. And so they were able to watch the performance, which was wonderful. They were totally thrilled with it. Oh yeah, the broadcast, yeah, my internet is spotty up here, so that's, it disappeared for a little bit. Hi Natalie, yeah, thank you. And one of the things I love about Alex is that she loved hearing me tell stories of our love story, the love story that Chuck and I had, and she remembers the stories. And so when she and Taylor were driving through Kansas yesterday, she texted me and she said, "I remember what you and Chuck said about, you'd hit Kansas and Missouri and you'd open the sunroof and you'd blare Willie Nelson on the road again." And just little things like that, that is so nice to hear. She doesn't even know Chuck, but she said she feels like she knows Chuck just from the stories that I've shared with her. And she remembers them and she talks about them, and that means everything in the world. I probably do keep cutting out Heidi. It's the internet being spotty here. Maybe it's the chiggers have gotten to the internet, God knows. So hopefully, on my phone, everything is okay. So hopefully it'll keep up. So anyways, day before that, I had to have my tooth extracted, and that was really shitty, and it was emotional, and it's going to cost me a shitload of money that I don't really have, but I have to have. And it's not about making a decision on my own. I can do that, right? Any of us can make decisions. It's the emotional component of something big like that happening and Chuck not being around. And I know I have to get used to it, blah, 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 blah. No shit, Sherlock. But it was really hard. And the dentist I would recommend to anybody, Dr. Michael Nelson. He's in Berryville, Arkansas. And there was no pain at all. When he was numbing it out, there's one shot that just kind of hit a nerve, but it lasted less than a second. And the way I always think of any pain at this point is that if Chuck could bear what he bore when he was dying, with all of the pain, the cut-through pain and all that stuff, then I can bear whatever I need to bear. So, but after that, everything went numb. And when I go to the dentist, I always tell them, look, let's start up here with numbness, and then I'll let you know if I need more. So let's err on the side of too much Lanacaine or whatever it is that he's going to be using. Hi, Marta. And he did that. I mean, he was great, and he had a great chairside manner and everything else, and he was very empathetic when I started falling apart. It just made me miss Chuck so much. Not more, just again. I hate, anybody hates going through medical stuff, right? And it just reminds me how I just feel very alone with, like there's no one to take care of me when if my tooth hurts afterwards, or my mouth hurts afterwards, or something, and it's just a very lonely feeling. So God help me if I, as I get older, if I go through anything medical or a cancer or something like that. My kids will be there, absolutely. They'll be there for me, but then they'll be the ones, witnessing my meltdowns. But I talked to a wise young man who is working here for the summer. He's an intern. His name is Davis. And he's only 19, but you'd never know it. He's from Tennessee, has this great accent, and he could put on a more intense Southern accent. And I was falling apart in the cafeteria the other day after I'd gotten back from the dentist. And he just came over and sat with me. And he said, sometimes you just have to realize that the day you're going to have is today you're going to cry. And you might cry tomorrow, too. And maybe the day after that. And then there will be a day when you don't cry. And it's really all kind of relative, right? About what a good day, what constitutes a good day anymore. And but he was just so sweet, and he just talked with me and sat with me, and he said, I'm not going to tell you any of that stuff, that you hear. And he said, I cannot even begin to know what this is like for you. He said, hell, I'm 19. But really he was just very compassionate and very empathetic. And that's always that's what's helpful, right? is just for people to acknowledge. I had a friend of mine too, from back in Jersey, Trish. She texted me one day and she said, you know, Allison, everything you're doing, being out on the road, pushing comfort zones and boundaries and all this other stuff, she said, you're really so inspiring to so many people. And then she said, and this was the part that made the message, you know, really good, was she said, I know you don't want to be inspiring. I know you have no interest in it, and you know it's, and she said, but you are. So, yeah, Carol wrote, I think we will always be lost and lonely, but we will make it. Their love will keep us going. It's the only damn thing that keeps me going. Only thing in the world. I don't think about religion or God or greater anything. All that I focus on is the love. And that is that's all there is. That's all there is. And you know, like I don't know what I'm going to do when I get out to Arizona. I don't know if I'm going to live in my trailer and do work camping again. I don't know if I'm going to find a little like studio apartment and get a job, I don't know, at Lowe's or, you know, some store again. I have no freaking idea what I'm going to do. And, you know, I don't have a lot of money. A lot of people don't have a lot of money. So I have to get it figured out. But for some reason, I'm not worrying about it. And I mean, worried, there's no point to it anyways. But I just know that all I need to focus on is the love. And you know, I'm practical too. And, you know, I don't just sit around and wait for the, you know, a genie to appear and, you know, blink her eyes. I do the footwork. But somehow it'll all happen. It's happened for 4 years, right? Which leads me to my next thing, is that I was talking to the, the prop maker and set designer, Jay, and talking about performance art and performance theater and stuff like that. And I'm so inspired by, even if I'm not really a huge opera person, I'm fascinated by the behind-the-scenes stuff, the costume making, the sets, how the stage and what it looks like afterwards, and listening to people practice, and the orchestra, all of this stuff. It's all very theatrical. Hi, Gloria. And I've always known there's a part of me that would love to perform. I don't consider myself a performer, but I think I have enough in me. I'm a Gemini, so I think that that's why, you know, so it comes out. And I realized that when I did a burlesque class last year in Phoenix. So I was talking to Jay and just learning. She's a font of information. She teaches and she's a professor and all this other stuff. She has you know, that's her career. So the bottom line is that she said, you know, you have everything, Allison, in your story for performance art. And she said, you just need to write a script, figure out some pictures, get some music, a backdrop, how you want to present it. And she said, there you have your performance art. And she is willing to help me do that. And she knows what the fuck she's doing. And so I'm going to write a one-woman a one-woman performance based on my Odyssey of love. And I'm going to do it with the help of people who know what they're doing. And then I'm going to take it on the road. And my friend Alex, you know, she knows the military and understands it. And so she's going to help me with networking within the military community for being able to present to them. And so rather than just do a presentation, I want to do a performance. And it's like a soliloquy almost. And I'm going to call it this Odyssey of Love, Love, Grief, and Magic on the Open Road. And I'll take it from there. But I have the working title, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep that working title. So so that's a lot. You know, I have a lot of ideas all the time, and the thing is, I don't know logistically, and I don't know how to translate them. But Jay, you know, she knows that, you know, how to use the laptop and add music, you know, and so I've got people here to help me, so that's amazing. So I'm going to do that. So you can stay tuned for that. And I'll be here, my last day here at Opera in the Ozarks is either the August 12th or 13th. I'm not sure. The students, this contingent is going to actually be leaving next week, I think, at the end of next week. And then we have a children's camp come in, or kids camp, I'm not sure what they call it. And they've got 2 weeks. They'll be, I guess, teenagers, and so I won't be as busy around that. It's not as involved as putting on the operas, obviously, so I'll have more downtime. And then I'm going to head up north to Indiana to visit Chuck's mom for a few days, and then I'm going to head west. And I'm not sure of my route yet, and I'd like to stop and see people along the way, but I don't have a lot of money, and so I may just have to kind of hightail it out to Arizona so that I can get a job situated and, you know, figure out where I'm going to live and how I'm going to live and everything else. It's kind of like being a teenager all over again, you know, a lot of times when you get widowed, because finances change drastically. And, you know, you figure, how do you find an apartment if you haven't had employment or if you don't have a job at the moment? And, you know, first and last month's rent. I mean, just all of that bullshit stuff. But I'm in today. And I'm only going to think about today. I'm really good at being Scarlett O'Hara. And just keeping on doing what I'm doing, because it hasn't led me wrong yet. So, oh, and I moved my site. I was down in the woods, literally in the woods, and it was on, my rig was on gravel and stuff like that. And so I was mowing up here the other day in the big field, and off to one corner I noticed there was an electric stand for hooking up. And so I thought, well, shit, I'm going to move my rig up there in the grass. I mean, I've been here most of the summer and I never even noticed it. And so I did. And so I did. I moved it up here. I hitched up and moved up here. And it was a hellacious time. The tongue wouldn't unlock. And so Terry and I beat the shit out of it. And he helped me level it and just do all the stuff. It took a couple of hours at least, really, because it was so stuck. And you know, it's like in the 90s. And hi, Joan. It was in the 90s, and I swear I really thought at one point I was just going to pass out. I was on the verge of heat stroke or something. So we went inside to the cafeteria where there's air conditioning. I got something cold to drink, and then we came out and attacked it again. But hi, Mark. So let me stand up with my old body, sore body, and I'm going to show you. I'll turn the camera around. Wait a minute. Let me see if I remember how to do that. That's the microphone. Is this it? That's it. Okay, so there we go. Here's Pink Magic in a much nicer setting. There's my car. That's the little golf cart that I drive around. I put some of my pink lays that were given to me a few years back. I hung them from it. So it looks much more serene now, doesn't it? I just felt like it was just a gentler, kind of the setting is just gentler. So, so I'm going to I'll keep this site for the rest of the summer. When Alex and Taylor came last night, they set up a tent right here. They sleep in a tent, which is amazing. I'm in awe of that. Not enough awe to want to do anything about it. You know, like me stay in a tent. But, oh, wow, Mark, 1 month today. Hi, Kathy. Gaynell, oh my goodness, everybody, oh my goodness, wow, I'm so touched. Kathy, I hope you're feeling a whole lot better. And oh, Mark, I don't know, what do you do at 1 month with the pain? The way I look at it now, I was just talking to Anat, who is from Israel, and she plays viola in the orchestra, and she came up to see my rig. I gave her a tour, which consists of standing inside and looking around, but I told her the way that I see it is that grief, I always have it, and the grief means sadness, loneliness, everything. but it's all contained in a vase, and the vase is love. And it doesn't always equal out or anything else, but they're always both present at the same time. And but the love is always, always there. I mean, that's what all of this is about. And when I do my one-woman show, that's what it's going to be all about. And this is the way I picture it. Me standing on a stage, and it's all dark. I'll be dressed FWG, fucking warrior goddess. The stage will be dark at first, and I will read the little bit I wrote called The Death Valley Dance, that about my and Chuck's last dance in Death Valley. And then the lights will go on, just on me, a spotlight. But standing right behind me, I'm going to get this, I've thought of this for years, getting a life-size cardboard cutout of Chuck that I'll have made from one of his pictures. And I have a picture of him, I know I've posted it many times, of him wearing a black shirt, which he always looked good in, and his aviator glasses. And he's standing there, you know, with his hands folded across his chest. And I used to tell him sometimes, I would tease him and say, you know, it's like you're my bodyguard. And like in a friendly way, but, you know, he was always kind of in the background. You know, he never wanted to be the center of attention. And he kind of just handled things. And but he stayed in the background, and, you know, he was perfectly okay with me being out there writing and blogging and talking to people and, you know, being colorful and all this other stuff. He loved it. He just wasn't going to do it. And so he'd be in the background. So I thought it would be perfect to have a cardboard cutout of him standing in the background, just right behind me, just bare, you know, so that the light would pick him up a little bit, but not too much. And then, you know, I have some music, and I would just go from there, kind of almost in vignettes, talking about my Odyssey of love. And ending possibly, I'm not sure how I would work it in, but ending with, because the first music would be Chicago, the tune by Chicago, You're the Inspiration, You're the Inspiration, that Chuck and I danced to, our last dance. And then then I would play the music, Leonard Cohen's Dance Me to the End of Love at the end, like in my burlesque performance, and changing into Alicia Keys' Girl on Fire. And so I'm not sure how all of that's going to play out, but that's the general idea I have so far. And I know I could make it work. I know I could get gigs. I just have to write out the script, and I'm going to have help doing that. And I'm going to create something that is really powerful, and I'm going to go out there, and all of you can help me with this, with using your connections to find me places to perform this, you know, all around the country. And, you know, I know money's not going to be made at first, but, you know, if I have to earn a living, then that's the way I'm going to do it, by doing something that matters to me. And so that'll be at least one aspect. So I have 1 week to write the script, get the music, and do all of that. So I'm not going to, Jay and I aren't going to work at it tonight because we're exhausted from working on the well. Jesus, and filthy, dirty, and we can't take showers. And I'm itchy and sugar bites, and but I got to see Alex and meet Taylor last night, and that was wonderful. There's wonderful people out there. There are wonderful people. Taylor wants to become a vagabond also, so she said she's going to be stalking me to get information from me. But it's being on the road like this, it's a mindset as much as it is anything else. You can figure out the logistics, but it's a mindset of broadening the perspective. And they had, you know, traveled through Kansas, you know, middle of the country, and so many people think, oh, middle of the country, you know, they're religious freaks and they're Trumpsters and all this other stuff. And I'm sure there are, absolutely that. But that's very limiting to dismiss them so easily, because they were both saying to me, you know, they spent quite a bit of time talking to people. And they said, you know what, they're not the crazy animal people that generally you start thinking Trumpster people are. They're, I've heard people say, you know what, held my nose and voted for Trump, or I held my nose and voted for Clinton. It has really nothing to do with the people. There are so many good people out here in the world and in our country. So, oh, I will, Kathy. I'll keep on loving. Hi, Amanda. Amanda and her husband, John. John is in the Air Force, and he served with Chuck, and that's how we met Amanda. And Amanda is the one who wrote the poem that did I read it at Chuck's memorial service? But anyways, called The Traveling Man. And it was just a lovely poem and just described him so well, and his happily homeless years. Just living his dream, and me living my dream, and us living our dream together. Oh, I love you too, Amanda. I hope you and John and the kids are settling in to your new home well. So yeah, all of you, right? You're an example of who is in this country. You're an example, all of you, of the people that I have met along the way, because some of you I have met along the way. Some of you are from the community that Chuck and I had back in New Jersey. There's, widows that I met who have followed my blog. And so I met them just briefly. Some of you I haven't met at all, but you follow my blog, or you're on, some of you are in my Road Widows, Road Warriors Facebook group. I mean, it's from everywhere. And all of you are amazing people, and you are my support community. God, I would love to come through there and see you guys again, Amanda. Who knows? Who knows, right? The road's out there, and we'll see what happens. I'll always end up somewhere. But that's a wonderful thing, too, is I have all of you people everywhere around the community. I've been able to build this incredible support community all around the country. And buddies of Chuck's, who check in with me and have become my friends now. And people who showed up when Chuck was out in California. And everybody. And you are the people. You're the love personified who are helping me. You help me get up every day because I know you're out there. And I have to communicate with all of you. And I have to hold myself accountable for doing that. And so I get up every morning. And yeah, I fall apart a lot. I'm so sad and lonely without Chuck. I miss my husband. But all of that is contained in that huge vat of love. And that matters. And I want to tell every one of you that you matter so much. My mom would say all of you are earning stars in your crown. And I thank you for that. I really do. So, so I guess I guess the mosquitoes are going to start coming out now. It's about that time of day. So I need to go, and I'm going to try and catch some of the Carmen performance tonight. Oh, thank you for saying that, Amanda. We miss him every day, and I know you do too, Mark. So I'm going to go and try and wash up a little bit, and with my baby wipes. You know what? I'm thankful I put my hair in dreads. For some reason, the texture of the dreads keeps it from feeling as dirty as it probably is. Because if it was just like this, and I took out my front dreads for the moment, as you can see, if it were like this, it would be filthy and greasy and hanging in my face. But somehow with the dreads, it's not. And I was touched even as I was falling apart at the dentist the other day that he said, "Oh, you're growing dreads." So he recognized them as dreads, which was amazing. So it's turning out okay. I have to do some more work on them tonight. But anyways, I love all of you, and I will touch base with you again very soon, okay? I love you. Namaste. Ti amo.